Hi there, and welcome to another week of our class. Yay! Hey, since we're talking about innocent suffering and the case study that you're working with has to deal with Guatemala, I thought why not give another story, another illustration of this type of issue regarding here in the United States, and that is regarding human trafficking. For those that have not read my bio or don't know, I am a trauma counselor for the Hope Center Indy. That's the largest aftercare center for women rescued from human trafficking in the country. And I work directly with the women there, and I lead trauma therapy groups, and I do counselor education and a whole bunch of stuff there. And so I thought, why not go ahead and share a little bit of that? It, just to give you another issue of the innocent suffering, just to kind of help with our discussion within the course. So let me kind of share with you just a little bit of what's going on regarding this issue. Okay, so when we're dealing with this, here's a picture of the campus of the Hope Center Indy. So it's a really kind of a big, intimidating campus. And so this is what it looks like in one of the places that I work at. And here's how the people end up getting into the trafficking industry, if you will, how this ends up taking place. And it's not like always the media presents. So that's one of the nice things about sharing this with you, is to kind of clear things up. One of the ways that women end up in human trafficking is a persuasion by a boyfriend. And this is not like a boyfriend says, "Hey, want to be trafficked?" And the woman says, "Yay." No, it's not like that at all. It is like a guy is with a girl and they're living together and they're living life. And then suddenly they don't have the money for food or rent, and they're going to be evicted and on the street and whatnot. And so then the boyfriend says, "Hey, if you do this one little favor for a friend, we will get like $500 for it and we will be not homeless. So would you just do this one little favor?" And then if she says yes, then it begins the process all the way up through him selling her for like $10,000 or $20,000, and then she is permanently into that situation unless she is rescued. Okay, so that's how it can be persuaded by a boyfriend. In fact, sometimes guys, some guys like the ones that are in charge, the pimps, if you will, sometimes they will look for women and become their boyfriend with trafficking in mind. And so they never ask them to do something inappropriate for like the first 6 to 9 months. And then about 9 months in, it's, "Hey, we need food. We have no food. You got to do this to do it." And he had already showered her with gifts, already treated her very nicely, treated her with respect. And then boom, it's, "Now you need to do this or we're homeless and no food." And then if she says no at first, then she doesn't eat. And then the next day doesn't eat. And then until she says, "Fine, I'll do it." And then food is given and then the process begins. In some cases, it's more even disturbing than that. It is, they're sold by a parent. That's what happens a lot actually around here in the Indianapolis area, especially in the well-to-do areas. We find this the most. This would be northern Indiana, northern Indianapolis. I mean, kind of like the Carmel area and whatnot. And so this is where a parent is unable to support their lifestyle by the income that they have. They bought a house too expensive, or they're dealing with wanting drugs, or whatever the case is. So then they find someone that says, "Hey, I will give you X amount of thousands of dollars if I get to have an experience with your child," in which then they uh, agree to that. And then the child is eventually given to a pimp and sold for like $10,000 or $20,000. And the parent is able to get the drugs they want, pay off whatever bills, and on it goes. Usually, what the media tends to point out is the abduction, where somebody sees a girl, grabs her, or goes online on a dating site and gets her to meet, and then boom, they're forced into it by abduction. And that does happen. That's the media portrayal as the dominant. But the other two are just as common as the abduction, if not even a little bit more so. They're not talked about because they're significantly more disturbing. Okay, and so this is an indication. Now you got these ladies in a situation to where they are being forced to provide sexual services, things like that, against their will. Sometimes they're beaten, sometimes they're starved, sometimes they're given drugs and then denied the drugs, so that the withdrawal symptoms are makes them kind of crazed, and then they have to do the trafficking issues, the sexual favors and jobs in order to get the drugs and get their fix. And so it becomes these innocent people, if you will, completely, absolutely suffering. And these ladies are in a horrible situation. And what they're doing is technically a crime. It is like prostitution. It is a crime, but they are an innocent victim within this. So it makes it really complicated to deal with this. In fact, how the women get rescued actually is they are found in the jail systems, and then they are given an option to get out of their lifestyle, because sometimes these women in trafficking, what they are on the public surface are dancers at erotic clubs or prostitutes on the street, but they're actually owned by someone that is trafficking them, sometimes even to different cities, different states. So it gets real complicated, but they're found in prison systems or jail systems for breaking the law and then rescued from there. So we here at the Hope Center in Indianapolis, we work with the jail systems around here. Now, this brings us then to, what do Christians do about this innocent suffering issue? And let's just be real frank and honest about this. This is why I like the book of Habakkuk. It's a book most people don't read in the Bible, so I would encourage you to read the book Habakkuk. Let me paraphrase the book for you. It's only like 3 chapters long. It's a short little book. It's hard to find. Sometimes you might need your index at the front of the Bible. Here's a paraphrase of the book and what's going on. So Habakkuk turns to God. He sees Israel being put into exile, and an evil nation is rising up and is dominating Israel. It's a dark situation. The bad guys are prospering. The good guys are suffering. And so Habakkuk says, God, if all this wickedness bothers me, then being an all good God, it must really bother you. So why are you silent? This is like the big question of evil. God, if you are all powerful, surely you could do something. And if you're all good, surely you'd want to. So then why is there evil? Why are you not intervening? Why are you taking so long? Why is there nothing happening? And so therefore, we then as Christian therapists or Christian counselors have the opportunity to begin, because people will come in to counseling and this is their question. I'm a decent person. I do what I can. I don't do this or that. And all this bad stuff is happening to me. Why is it happening to me? And that can lead down to different spiraling situations of depression or whatever the case may be, different mental health issues. And so they just say, why is this happening to me? And Christian counselors then have the opportunity to begin to speak grace into these tender situations. But where would you start? How would you begin to answer Habakkuk's question? Okay, so go back to Habakkuk's question. God, if you are all good, then why are you not doing something about the wickedness and evil in this world? So where might you start? Go ahead on Moodle in the comment below the video. Answer your question. Where would you, or where might you start? And just in case you're sitting there going, I just don't know. Well, let me at least give you a light somewhere in this dark tunnel. Maybe you might want to consider 2 Peter 3:9 and Genesis 3. Now, these are not answers directly to the question, but are thoughts and issues that might lead you toward where you could start. So I would recommend reading those before replying, just to see if it helps you in your thought forming process. Okay, so go ahead and enjoy that. And I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll be interacting with you there on Moodle. Have yourself a grand week this week.